All right, here's the latest on my tropical thoughts. We are tracking Tropical Storm Erin as it tracks west across the Atlantic, a little northwest, likely avoiding the Gulf. The microphone is turning in toward me, so we'll see if this clears up the static. Next headline is going to be the East Coast should stay alert to be ready for, at minimum, high surf and a rip current risk. I think it's sounding a lot better. And finally, tropical moisture is set to return to the coastal bend possibly by Friday. We'll be keeping an eye on this. Nothing too significant yet, but we'll break down everything you need to know in the forecast. Good morning, y'all. It is now 10:02 a.m. I'm meteorologist Carly Smith, and we are talking the tropics. Now, it's starting to get active. Of course, we got the fifth named storm of the season, possibly going to become the first hurricane of the season as it continues to track across the Atlantic. This is now 820 miles west of the Cabo Verde Islands, and it is starting to look a little bit more tropical in nature. Now, not a ton of convection at this point in time, but you can start to see in the satellite imagery that it's starting to have a little bit more spinning nature to it. So that's that defined low that qualifies it as a tropical storm. Wind gusting to 60 miles per hour, but sustained at 45 miles per hour. That designates it as a tropical storm as well. And then this system is moving west. They increased the speed by 1 mile per hour. This morning it was 22 miles per hour. So with the 10 a.m. update, Erin is now moving west at 23 miles per hour, and the latest forecast cone looks very similar. Still anticipating Category 1 hurricane by Thursday morning, and potentially a major hurricane just north there of Puerto Rico. That would be Sunday morning. So the forecast is there at 7 a.m. for 105 mile per hour winds, potentially. So this center of the storm is anticipated to track north of those leeward islands of the Caribbean, and then of course Puerto Rico. And this goes out to Sunday, the forecast cone. Around Sunday is when we will be watching to see if the storm is going to start to turn a little bit more north, and the guidance suggests that it will. And so overall, not expecting much of any impact to Texas. However, the East Coast should stay alert because how far north it turns is going to be very dependent on how the high pressure sets up. Now, Friday, this potentially, how strong this high is, could push it a little further south, and that could be problematic. However, if it stays on this track, by the weekend, we get a gap in the areas of high pressure, and that gap is what's going to allow this storm to start to turn north. And if the high pressure off to the east of it strengthens, it'll tap into the steering winds around that high, and that's what would keep it more so in the Atlantic than coming toward the East Coast. However, this is too far out to really start nailing down exact impacts or location or strength, especially as it is so close to the East Coast. So this is just something the East Coast, Caribbean should continue to monitor. Texas, not an impact at this point in time. And overall, the Gulf staying very, I don't know if chill's the right word, but we do have the National Hurricane Center has marked an X in the Gulf, right? This area, they're only giving a 0% chance of developing. However, it is expected to produce some heavy rainfall there, anywhere between Louisiana and Florida across the East Coast, or not the East Coast, I'm still focused on Erin. This is the little disturbance in the Gulf. It is anticipated to produce some heavy rainfall there from Louisiana to Florida along the Gulf Coast. Not an impact to Texas. In fact, it looks like wind shear and just the way our upper level winds are going to set up, that this storm is going to get pulled apart. So I'll show you now in the vorticity how that's going to play out. You'll see it most of the energy going north, but some energy splitting south and then weakening. What we are watching, let's go back. There's this area in the Caribbean, right there in Central America. This is going to be what provides us with that chance of rainfall I talked about. And by us, I mean South Texas, the coastal bend, the valley, the region of Texas. So for South Texas, we'll be watching this piece of energy coming up out of the Caribbean that could potentially bring us some rain. National Hurricane Center is not monitoring this area. It is just an area of storm energy and tropical moisture potentially that may enhance some rain chances. And at this point in time, it's not a lot of rain, but it kind of gives us a little bit more of our tropical showers or little pop-up sea breeze showers, may have a little bit more moisture with them, pack a little bit more of a punch. And so with that tropical moisture and the energy, there's a higher chance of rain Friday and Saturday, but right now still keeping it around a 30% chance. So that's going to be Saturday into Saturday morning. Wind will also pick up with this feature. So this is the moisture. You see the moisture getting split from that system that the National Hurricane Center has marked as an area they're watching. Additionally, here's our deeper moisture. You can see at the beginning of the week, we had the lighter greens. By the end of the week, we have darker greens, which does signify that our atmosphere will have more moisture that would want to rain over the area. And so those storms that do form may pack a little bit more of a punch, but otherwise it's still looking pretty scattered at best. In our wind forecast, you see the winds going up. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, we're getting over 20-mile-per-hour winds. We could have some gusts, 30 to 35 miles per hour. By the weekend, because of the fetch, the high pressure building over the southeast. Meanwhile, that inverted low, that's essentially what that is, a tropical wave moving over into northern Mexico, will be in an increased wind pocket. So the sea, the Gulf, the waves, they may pick up a little bit. It may not be quite as picture perfect as it has been, but when we take a look at our wave forecast, you will see Saturday 2 to 4 foot waves there, possibly 6-second periods. So if you're a surfer, that's getting better. We have some waves. If you're a fisherman, this weekend not going to be quite as sweet as we had the last weekend. Now here's one last look at Futurecast, and I'll see if anyone has any questions, but it doesn't look like it. I do want to thank everyone for watching. At this point in time, here's Tuesday afternoon. A very isolated pocket of sea breeze is possible for us. You see that moisture spinning a little north with that area the Hurricane Center is watching. Overall, though, nothing significant. As we head into Thursday, our rain chances go down until that tropical moisture arrives. So by Friday, rain chances start to go back up. It does look like still this sea breeze may help boost some of our rain opportunity, and then into Saturday morning and Saturday afternoon, we may have a little bit more energy in the area for some storms as well. So in the 7-day forecast, not going crazy with those rain chances, but am highlighting Friday and Saturday for that next best shot of rain. And with more cloud coverage as well, temperatures may stay a little cooler and be further away from that triple degree digit mark. That's going to do it for this live update. I'm meteorologist Carly Smith. Thank you so much.